Hey, you fucking pricks. It's Lamentable Podcast here with another fucking episode. Your hosts, Josh and Kyle, as always, and our special guest this time is Vincent Lombardo.
Hello.
How are you doing, Vincent?
I'm doing pretty good.
Did you have a good day today?
Yeah, I had an alright day. I did jack shit. Sat around.
What about you, Kyle? How was your day today?
I got a haircut, and I went to the gym.
Yes, I do know you went to the gym.
But yeah.
No.
Oh, well, I filmed part of a video today with Nick and some others that I'm sure will be on the podcast.
What was that video about? You gonna give us some spoilers or gonna wait?
I ran the black market, Josh.
I didn't do anything today. I went to work. I had to walk to the other store today. I worked at the one way down there, and it was really fucking slow for no reason. I had like 5 customers, and then at the literally 5 minutes before close, 7:55, a person walks in, and they're like, "Hey, can I buy an iPhone?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then 3 other people walk in wanting phones as well.
In the last 5 minutes.
In the last 5 minutes of work. And literally all day was dry as hell. I went like 3 hours in between each customer. It was ridiculous. And so that was fun. So I didn't get out of work until like 8:20. And I usually get out at 8. And then I got out of work and went to the gym as well. My arms were getting really tight. And I thought I was like dehydrated or something. But I guess not. Because I'm fine. And the gym guy was like, "You're fine." And I was like, "Okay. I'll believe you." So, we wanted to talk about today how fucking weird real life is. Like, reality and the conscience of the human mind.
And literally the fact that any of this exists.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced we live in the Matrix.
I think about that every day. Every day of my life I think about it. How this is so much more like a simulation than it used to be.
And the problem, the thing that gets me, is that we literally could not ever know.
I know.
There's no possible way to know. Like, literally, fucking space could be like a fucking, like, a particle in a fucking grocery bag in some other universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ridiculous to think about. Kind of, like, hurts the head to think about a lot.
Yes, it does.
Like how large everything is, or how tiny it could actually be.
Literally?
How large it is relative to us, but then it could be very, very tiny relative to something else.
Yeah, we'd have no fucking
It
idea.
could be a little speck, just like you just said.
Yeah, and then, like, there's, like, suns and other planets and shit that are, like, 50 trillion times bigger than our Earth. And we're just like, We're such big, angry animals. We're so fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and then there's things that are, like, way better than us out there somewhere.
Yeah, how big our universe is, but we can never be sure if there's, like, other living shit out there.
And there's planets around every star, but
There's gotta be, but we'll never be able to know. There's no way we'll ever come up with the technology to fucking go, like, 8 million light years away to a fucking other planet that might have humans on it.
Unless one comes here and fucks us up.
for someone to think that there's no such thing as other life form on any other planet is kind of ridiculous. Because there's hundreds and hundreds of billions of stars in each galaxy, and everyone has planets. They've said that everyone has planets.
They found, like, those 2 planets that are, like, the closest planets to us that are still super fucking far away, but they're, like, exact replicas of Earth.
Oh yeah, I know there's
Like,
Yeah,
Planet X
just
and shit.
recently.
Yeah.
Just recently, they found like a whole solar system of planets that are able to hold life
And they're
and
definitely
have
fucking-
more water than Earth.
So we're
Yeah.
just like, yo.
Yeah, we're definitely not alone in the fucking universe. Definitely.
And then there's hundreds and hundreds of billions of galaxies
Yeah.
with hundreds and hundreds of billions of stars inside them, and that's just the part that we know about.
I mean, maybe in, like, if humanity survives just long enough, maybe we'll fucking figure out some way of seeing something at least. But I don't think so.
We're all too stupid here on Earth.
I think
do it.
humans will definitely be extinct before the time even gets close to another because I think I don't know if I read it or heard it in something else, but like if they think that if another like race had the technology to go out, they would probably already visit us already. But then there's like the fucking conspiracies that they already fucking did, and like
yeah,
they're like Area 51 and shit.
Everything's so goddamn far away, though. Like, the closest star to us is, like, several light years away.
Yeah.
And 1 light year is, like, a ridiculous amount of distance to even try to wrap around your head. It's like 5 trillion miles. 5.88 trillion miles in 1 light year. Light year.
I like that. That's how a distance is measured, is how far light travels in a year.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And light is the fastest thing known.
Literally, like, it's so far that they had to create that measurement. That's ridiculous. And like the stars,
and that's the closest star. It's like 3.5 light years away. The closest one. And our light year is like 100,000 light years across.
Yeah, it's you can't even wrap your head around it because it's so much bigger than us that we'll never fucking be able to tell. It's probably bigger than we even estimate it to be.
Yeah.
Because like even they don't have the technology to see farther. They're just like, oh, the observable universe. We have no fucking idea what's past that until we fucking create the technology
and what
that'll let us see it.
What they consider the observable universe is fucking ridiculous. It's like something almost like it's 900. I think it's like 950 billion light years around. 950 billion light years.
Okay.
And they've mapped galaxies and all of that. Like, they know, like, that there's certain strains of galaxies and, like, there's all these webs of just billions of galaxies. All just...
I think it'd be really cool.
Inhabiting all of that.
I mean, we sure as fuck won't ever see it, but if humanity does get, like, to the technology to, like, warp fucking speeds and shit, and they get to, like, go visit other galaxies, and it's just, like...
It would be so long, though, before we get that.
I honestly believe that we'll never get it. I think we'll be extinct before they even get close to... Yeah, no. It's just crazy to think, like, are we really doing this podcast right now? Like, did I actually walk to work this morning, or is this, like, another, like, dream state type thing going on?
The world could have been created like 3 minutes ago.
Literally,
we would never know.
We would never have known.
Our brain could be just like in a vat of liquid on a UFO somewhere, and they could just be poking at all the parts that make our sensory abilities fire and shit, and just make us perceive. Because everything's perceived in our brain. Our brain could just be chilling in a lab somewhere, getting experimented on.
And we just see this random
and they're like,
shit.
I wonder how this person's going to live this life. And they're just testing, just
literally.
I think about that too, like aliens experimenting on humans. Like, what if they already came down? What if they already took this shit over? And what if we're just one of the brains that they took and they're experimenting on? They're just trying to figure out how we live life. So they made some simulation for us.
Either that or just everyday society in general is controlled by them. Like, fucking... So everything that happens to us on a daily basis is planned out.
Like the lizard people and shit. They like run all the governments in the world, and they're like lizards from another planet. That insane conspiracy.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
David Icke is a guy that preaches about that. He's pretty interesting to listen to. He was like a marathon runner or some shit, and then he was in an interview, and all of a sudden he started talking about aliens and crazy shit. And he got super famous, wrote a book. Now he like did a bunch of shows. Vice has been to his house like 10 times.
Has he been on Joe Rogan?
I don't know. They've definitely talked about him. I know they've mentioned him. I've heard Joe Rogan say, "Oh, David Icke." He probably knows who he is.
That would
But
definitely be a good one for him to have.
that'd be insane, dude. Because he's a nutcase, to be honest.
He probably like tripped and fell and hit his head at home or something. And then all of a sudden he just went
lost his
crazy.
mind. It's crazy though, because like some of the stuff that he believes like makes sense, and he is like pretty articulated when he talks and shit. So it almost makes you want to believe him. But at the same time, obviously, you gotta question that.
The guy that runs Facebook, he's a lizard.
Yeah.
He really does seem weird as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
if you watch, like, his interviews and stuff, he seems like he's faking being a human.
Yeah, literally.
He's like, hey, guys.
He's just so awkward. It's like, what the fuck?
He's like, Did you see the backyard barbecue video he made?
No.
He acts so fucking weird in that. It's like him and his family and, like, friends or something, and he's like, they're just having a barbecue, and he's talking about, like, Facebook stuff. I think it was a live stream to, like, when Facebook live stream came out, he, like, did one.
Stuff.
And he was, like, talking about stuff, and then he was, like, talking about, like, what he was doing and stuff, and he just was acting so fucking weird the entire time. And then his court case, remember the memes that were going around, he was trying to drink the water, but he was, like, doing it super fucking weird.
Oh.
And he just looks weird as fuck. Yeah, I don't know, that's some crazy
There's
shit.
a bunch of pictures of, like, famous people next to, like, an alien, and then it's, like, it looks like the cover of, like, an Animorph book. It, like, shows how they might be an alien. There's, like, one of Obama and, like, the Queen and, like, a bunch of different famous people. Like, they're aliens just controlling the world.
I'd have to see that. That's pretty funny.
Sick.
It's crazy, though, if you take all that bullshit aside. There are, like, trillionaire families that are just hidden. That control so much shit.
Mm-hmm. In other countries and shit, that how much money they actually can.
There's
like,
one bank that owns like the majority of the banks in the entire world.
I think you're thinking of the Rothschilds family.
Yeah.
They own every central bank in the world except for like North Korea and like Iran or some shit. Or Syria maybe. I think it's Syria and North Korea. They own every other central bank in the world. And if you look at in history, like the central banks that they didn't own versus the wars that happened at those times, like they wouldn't own the central bank of this country. A war would happen in that country, and then they'd own that central bank. And it's been like that over a course of hundreds of years. And now they own every central bank except for two in the entire world. And it's ridiculous.
We're gonna post this up on YouTube and then disappear.
I know. I'm just gonna disappear off.
We're just gonna disappear. We're not gonna exist. No one.
I mean, good for them. Just
let it be stated on the record that if we disappear, it's because of this conversation.
cool.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like they're so rich and have so much stuff that they're like a fucking Illuminati type shit going on to us, like us normal fucking.
But it's
people.
real.
Yeah, it's just
like the
ridiculous.
family is worth trillions, and like supposedly they're the ones that sank the country into debt. Like they're just like milking the country and everything. But who knows? That's probably just another conspiracy too. It's probably bullshit.
Yeah,
they're probably just rich from oil or some shit, and everybody just started some conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how does money work? How do they value money?
One day
It's crazy.
One day some guy was just like, hey, I want that fucking deer skin. And he's like, well, what the fuck do you got for me? And he's like, I got these paper things.
Well, it used to represent some gold
Yeah,
stashed away somewhere.
Yeah.
But now it literally doesn't. Now it's literally the only worth is the fibers of the bill.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only value
because
you can get out of it.
they don't have gold to back it up or anything anymore. They stopped doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's like
so
a
what the
term
fuck? It's
for
just
it.
literally just paper that fucking exists. And it literally, there's unlimited money. Because, so me and Vinnie looked into this. I don't know if it's real or not.
There's a term.
But money literally gets doubled every day.
Yeah.
The amount of money that's physical and digital, so that real money still exists, but it's also digital now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
You go to the bank and you have a $20 bill, and you say, I want to deposit this $20 bill. And you give the lady the $20, and she fucking puts it in the register or in some type of vault.
Yeah.
And now you have $20 on your card, but there's also a $20 bill in the bank. So where did the $20, what does that $20 on your card represent? Does it actually represent the $20 that's in the bank?
No, because
it doesn't. Because then someone else
she
will
can
have
give that 20 back to someone that's getting 100.
That 20 will probably be in a different country or in a fucking different state in a matter of a week.
It's just so crazy. It's like money just exists and it gets created every single like millisecond of the day. It's
I know, and
doubled.
they're just printing it.
Doubled.
They're just printing it. They're just like huge printers in some warehouse somewhere that's all protected by government facilities and shit, or government agents.
It's like, what the fuck?
It just doesn't actually exist. It doesn't mean actually anything.
It's just
But
like
we literally can't survive without
sheets
it.
of $100 bills.
Literally.
We can't survive without having money. It's not possible. And it's just this created fucking piece of paper that we fucking give to people for shit. And 98% of the population uses it for dumb bullshit.
But then if we print too much, everybody will think it's worthless. Like, all of a sudden, this fake thing that had worth is now worthless, even though it's fake and never actually had worth in the first place. Like if we printed a shitload of it, if we said, we're $22 trillion in debt, we're just gonna print $22 trillion and pay that shit off. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like Germany tried that shit. They were just like kids were like playing with stacks of $100, well, the equivalent of $100 bills, just thousands and thousands of dollars, and just piling them up. Like there's pictures of them like playing with them like building blocks and shit, just because it was worthless. Literally worthless. People were like killing each other for bread, but thousands and thousands of dollars were worthless. Just because they printed it.
It's just crazy. Yeah, that's a really good fucking point. What the fuck is money?
There's a term that in French means let it be, or something like that.
Because
they're
just ignoring it. Yeah, let it be done.
Let it be done. And it's just let it be. Like, just let it have value.
Yeah,
Let's just pretend it has value.
It's literally that.
That's,
They're like,
that's literally how
if these people keep thinking it's worth something, it's gonna be worth something.
Yeah.
So they don't give a fuck. It just exists. It exists to keep people normal and happy.
And then if you deface a bunch of it, you go to jail. Like, people have burned like a pile of millions of dollars and then like went to jail. Got in huge trouble.
Yeah, because if they burn lots of money, people are gonna think, oh fuck, there's not that much money left anymore. So they're like angry because you're making the people think that it's worth less.
But where's that money going anyway?
The more money you burn, the more money everybody else's money is worth. Technically. Because there's less of it.
Well, technically.
Very, very, extremely minute.
Oh
but
yeah, I had it backwards. I'm fucking... Yeah. I fucking watched that shit about that Vsauce did about it.
Yeah, Vsauce did a really interesting video. Man.
Yeah. It was some crazy shit. But yeah, where the fuck does it go? Does it just keep getting circulated? Someone's got to be getting a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, someone's got to be running all that money moving.
And then eventually a bunch of it gets
banks are
super fucked up and old, and it gets retired.
But, like, it's just really crazy how it works.
But, yeah, I mean, if they're making it, it's going in circulation. Because they don't make it all the time.
Yeah, no.
But... Yeah, but the numbers in banks just keeps going up.
And, like, if they're getting the money and they're putting it back out in circulation, why the fuck are banks so rich? How do they make money? Where do they get the money from?
Interest?
Oh, from, like, bank loans and shit?
Yeah.
It's just so...
Yeah, well, you'll see some dude
so
that
many
owns
people
a
are
bank
in debt and aren't
like,
going to pay their shit back. Like,
literally. This is why the stock market crashed, and it's going to crash again because they're giving out stupid loans still.
Yeah.
There's going to be nobody's going to pay them shit back. Nobody.
The actual debt of the U.S. is so ridiculous. Like, it's never going to get paid off. Like, there's no way we could ever get the resources or get the... I don't even know what the fuck they'd do to work on paying that off. Like, how would you even start paying off over $20 trillion? Like, $1 trillion is a ridiculous amount. There's this really interesting picture that shows what $1 million looks like versus what $1 billion looks like versus what $1 trillion looks like.
Uses like
and it
Empire
is
State Building
it's
as size.
unbelievable. It is absolutely mind blowing. Like if you look it up,
I bet you it all gets paid back with that invisible money that is being created.
like $1 trillion. If you stood next to it, $1 trillion, it would be like 2 pallets. It'd be like 8 feet tall, and it would be like 500 of those pallets. And it would fill like a whole football field. And it would be 8 feet tall pallets of $100 bills. Like, you gotta look up the picture at some point.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember seeing that.
We gotta get a camera in here so then we can pull up pictures and shit.
I mean, we can probably find it and put it in that fucking podcast while...
Probably.
Just once this part comes up, we'll fucking glue it up there for like 20 seconds.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fucking... I remember seeing that. Yeah, it's crazy. They're gonna pay it back with not real money. How would they even... It's gonna be paid with like...
It doesn't happen. That's why.
It just seems weird.
Money
like,
just exists now. That's it.
Yeah. It's just there.
And then it shows like a quintillion dollars and shit, and it shows like the map of the United States, and it shows it next to it, and it's like around the same size. And it's everything all the way down to, there's one that's like a couple times the height of the Empire State Building, and it's all pallets of $100 bills.
It's so weird too because it's like, oh, I have more fake paper currency than you.
And then you go to a different country and they're like, mine's worth less.
Yeah.
Like Canada.
And you're like, alright, all this shit's worthless now. We gotta grab all this and see if we can get a good rate and exchange it for all this worthless shit. And then when we go back, we're gonna have to do it again.
It's
so weird.
It's like, ooh, look at me. Look at all these shiny
And then
fake papers that show how cool I am because I have them.
And then you pay them money at face value and they take it. And you're like, are you kidding me?
And then when you exchange their currency back, you don't even get all your money back, do you? Like, it's still way fucking off.
No, it's like 70% of our money.
And they're like, this isn't worth much, bud. Like, but...
And then the place that you exchange it at takes fucking 25% too or some dumb shit. Because they gotta get paid. They gotta make billions.
It's so crazy. Just the whole concept has just gone way out of proportion. I don't think they ever thought, like...
I know.
like, credit cards and shit would happen. They're like, invisible money? That would never happen.
And then we're like, the internet... Like, okay, how does the internet work? Also, like, this TV that we're watching our recording on, it's running on ones and zeros.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And there's like thousands of pixels across the whole screen that are all like working together to display something. Like, just the fact that we have any of this shit. That we have, like, any of this shit. Not even talking about, like, our bodies and our brain and our eyes and how we work. Like, the fact that we've come together and made all this shit, that we live in houses and that we have TV screens that we look at, and everybody has, like, computers that are more powerful than the fucking space shuttle that brought us to the moon. Like, in their pocket. Everybody has one in their pocket. Some of them are thousands of dollars.
It's so crazy, dude.
You have all the knowledge of the world at your fingertips at all times. If you want to know something, you look it up. It's right fucking there. You can know anything. Anything you possibly want. And people are still stupid as fuck.
Yeah, we all watch cat videos.
People are still fucking stupid. You can literally be so educated, and you can be so articulated in speech, and people just aren't. They're just fucking stupid. They just waste their time. They just stare at social media instead. It's just a huge cover-up. They're hiding something. Something's being hidden.
We're all just so fucking stupid, and we just don't know shit.
Literally.
Like, does anybody know how any of this shit works? Do you know how the TV works?
Who the fuck is making this shit?
I have no fucking idea. Who figured that shit out?
Yeah, how? What?
And then, like, plasma screens. What the fuck is a plasma screen? Is there plasma in it? Like, is it plasma?
Maybe we're just too dumb and we don't know it.
I mean, I have a plasma TV. Well, I think there's literally plasma in there. I don't
Really?
know what the fuck it is.
How does that affect the TV? What the hell does that
Doesn't
do?
it make it clearer?
And
like,
what the
sharper?
fuck is plasma?
It's old now. It's outdated.
Yeah.
But we bought it when it was new in like 2010.
That shit's always confused me. And
Now
I
it's
could
like-
just look it up, but I
Now
don't
it's like
because
Ultra
I'm sucked into
HD
it.
4K.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Why can I see this picture here better than I do with my own eyes, like, in
Yeah.
the real life?
Yeah, what the fuck?
This is so ridiculous.
It's like, It's like literally recording with eyeballs now. Like, everything's as clear as you can see.
And that's
anything
something
else.
that's been around for a minute. Like,
Yeah.
we've had TV screens for a long time. Like, there's way crazier shit than TV screens.
But, like, the quality of the picture on the TV
Elon
screens.
Musk is fucking digging tunnels with... and they're going to be underground rail cars that you park your car on, and it's like a magnetic, like, you know, those hyper trains that go, like, fucking 100 miles an hour? It'll be like one of those, but you park your car in a pod, and it just shoots you across LA, underground. He's in the process of building it. He's already building it.
Yeah, I remember him talking about it.
He already has a little thing you
He
can
was
ride
trying to get
on.
all his permits and stuff, and they were testing it, and they digging the holes
He
and
already
shit.
has a little test track and shit, and it fucking zooms.
That's so crazy.
Instead of being the fucking LA traffic sitting there at red lights, you'd be going 150 miles an hour or something underground. Just disappear, like dead silent, just sitting in your car.
That sounds awesome.
And people just won't even think anything of it.
This
like,
happens
20 years
I
after.
know, and then
they already
in
do this in
100 years-
Japan all the time. This
Yeah.
is how they get around in Japan.
Yeah.
They just use these trains.
It's just not underground.
Yeah,
And it
they
just
just
holds
fly
way
like
fucking
300
more
miles per hour.
Yeah, that's just...
Videos of those like passing by when they're way out in the middle of nowhere, like when they're not going through cities. When they're going through cities and stuff, they slow down and stuff, obviously. But when they're way out in the middle of nowhere, when they go by and you're standing still, it is like breathtaking. I want to stand next to one so bad. I've seen videos of it. It's crazy. It's like there. It's an entire train. It's there, and then it's like, and then it's gone. And it's like 10 train cars. It's like a whole fucking train, and it just disappears. It's going hundreds of miles an hour.
That's going to be crazy, because that's going to become, like, the cultural norm to get around.
Yeah, it's
And it's
going
going
to
to
be
be like,
everywhere.
ew, that's losers driving on the road.
Oh my
what
God.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
Is he driving a car? He doesn't have a car that drives itself.
Like, ew, what the hell is he driving?
Do you think that's actually going to be a big thing that takes off? Cars that drive themselves? Like, do you think people...
It's
Like,
going
that's
to
really
take them a
gonna
long
take
time
over?
to figure out
They
actual
should,
patterns.
but people are stupid.
Yeah, they there's no way they can... I mean, they have ones that do it, drive them by themselves. Like,
Yeah.
by themselves, they just let them go out in, like, the streets of cities and stuff. But, like,
The Google car got in, like, 2 accidents when it was
they
testing.
just... They can't make it figure out other people's stupid decisions, basically.
Literally.
People drive so fucking random that they can't fucking make the robot... Like... With the highest of technology, still fucking can't figure out.
Well, yeah, they're
Yeah,
still
it
gonna
wouldn't-
they still are gonna get in crashes, but they're not gonna be at fault.
Yeah.
Right. It wouldn't work unless it was, like, all based off of one system and they all... And everybody had one.
Mhm.
Like, if there were still people driving cars around and then there was...
Well, they're
autonomous
slowly
cars,
doing it with
wouldn't
like
work. There would just be crashes all
the
time.
lane assist shit and stuff now.
Yeah, they're making it the normal shit for cars to start, like, working by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, cars that park themselves and shit now.
That's amazing when you
That's crazy.
can parallel park. You just stop and take your hands off the wheel. I love that shit.
It's just crazy. It's just... They're bringing the older, super high technology down to us fucking weebs
Literally.
and fucking letting us use them in our Fords and fucking
Yeah.
Chevys and shit.
So they can make a ton of money, so we can be like, that's fucking cool. And then they just make a ton of money. We want... The little people want attention, and the big people want money. So the big people just make shit to get the little people attention.
Literally.
We want attention, they want money.
iPhones and shit like that.
So they just try to make the biggest and the best thing. They try to make everything better than the other people. So then,
It's like loot boxes and
so
video
then
games.
everybody will be cool if they get that shit instead.
It literally, loot boxes and video games they're making free money.
Yeah.
And they make billions of it a year if it's a good game. Like GTA, the people that run GTA,
Or Fortnite.
they're selling fake digitized money
Yeah.
for billions of dollars.
And it literally isn't real. It's not like, it's just so you can buy shit in video games, just so you don't have to do missions and don't have to do the shit. Just so you can...
To have stuff they make for free.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, they're paying the people to make it and put it in the game and shit. But
then they
it's
already
just-
made the game.
They
Like, they already made the game. They add shit, but they add, like, a couple things here and there. They already made the whole fucking game. So it's not even like it's a constant, crazy effort like making a game is. Because making a game is a lot of work, but just adding shit, I imagine, that's not even close to the task.
now we're gonna this will be our episode that just goes like really good, and like people from Rockstar are like, hey, you fucking assholes, this is actually what we have to go through.
But how does that...
Not to bash anybody that makes that shit.
Just cover it.
But
It doesn't.
just saying that it's literally, it doesn't
They're
They've
getting
made
free
enough
money.
of your
it doesn't
They're
mean
getting free
anything
money.
outside of the game.
Call of Duty loot
It doesn't
boxes is the
represent
perfect
anything.
example.
Yeah.
Stuff that
Any
already
type
exists.
of loot box.
Stuff that
loot
already
crate.
exists. Yeah, and it's all cosmetic. It doesn't help you at all.
Yeah.
So all this stuff that they already made for the game inside the game, but you have to buy little things.
And it's not like
To
people
get it.
make money off of it, except for like YouTubers and streamers and stuff like that.
That's why
No,
the reason
like the vast majority of people don't make money off of it, but they still spend a shitload of money.
I think the main reason Battle Royale games are so popular, one of the main reasons, just not the whole reason, but one of the like main
It's because
reasons,
the Hunger Games is going to start soon and it's a training tool.
that maybe, but they have these reward systems that you can get that stuff that you would normally have to buy, and you can still buy more if you want to, which people still fucking do, but you used to get free ones. You get like the free fucking shit. So like you unlocked tier 3, and you just get like a weapon skin. You're like, oh fuck yeah, I didn't have to buy a loot crate for this. So that's why I think that's why people like those a lot, because you just get free like cosmetic items without spending money. But then people do actually,
And
spend
that
money
gives
on
you
it.
like a little taste, and then you're like, oh, but fuck, I really want that.
Yeah.
And then people that have money that are just like have money to spend, and they're just like, whatever, I don't fucking have any hobbies or anything to do with my life. I just
like,
go to work.
like our boy.
Yeah, like our friend. Our friend is stupid as fuck for that. He spent hundreds of dollars on Clash of Clans.
Jacob.
I think it was around $600.
I'm going to name drop Jacob because he does this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jacob.
Oh, he's going to be on here. I've talked to him, but
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we'll get Jacob on here. Wouldn't be that hard.
it was right around the corner.
But yeah, it's just crazy. We started that conversation off by saying, "What the fuck are TVs and how do they work?"
Yeah.
Fucking.
That's the great thing about podcasts. You know, a lot of media, like, you just see somebody for a clip, just to, like, in between commercials, they're on for a few minutes, and they say everything they want to say, so they look the best they possibly can, and so they try to not fuck up, and they rehearse it, and then they go on air for a few minutes, and then it cuts to commercial, and they're like, oh, and it, like, lifts the weight off them, like, oh, we're not on the air.
What podcast
But-
did that?
What?
What podcast
No, I'm
did
talking
that?
about most media.
Oh,
Like when you're watching TV
yeah.
and things like that, that's how it works. Like if you were on like Jay Leno or something, you like go on, you talk for a few minutes, you get out all your information as fast as you can, you rehearsed it a million times, and then it cuts to commercial and you're never seen again unless somebody looks you up. But when you're on a podcast, you can talk for a long ass time. You can just articulate all your words and think about and just like continuously have a conversation.
Yeah,
and
you're
bring up
not
different
reading it off of
topics.
fucking paper.
Yeah, it's
just actual
it's
conversation.
not scripted in any way. Just start a conversation. The only thing we think about is how to start it, and then it just goes from there. One little topic can just fire up an entire conversation and talk for hours and hours.
Yeah.
If you're with the right people.
That's basically what just happened. Until
That's
Josh,
what I'm
until Josh was like, yes.
appreciating
anyway.
the fact.
No, that's what I'm saying. We started off because you were like, "What the fuck? How is this TV working?" I was like, I was like, capping off the end of the conversation. I guess it was like a meme. Hey, Lamau.
A meme. What's your favorite meme right now, Josh?
Right now, it's still the Elon Musk fucking
The
dead
deer?
deer in the thing. Well, the problem is
I don't know if I
the
know
deer
what
in the
you're
water thing is already a meme, but now they just
Yeah.
made the new meme and it's Elon Musk laughing at the deer. So it's just random shit with like deer in it, like different TV shows, and it's like
I want to see what you're talking
it's like
about.
Bambi dying and it shows Elon Musk laughing. It's just like random
Sounds like a
shit.
good one.
Elon Musk fucking shit.
I'm not that much in the meme community. I'm not that updated.
What's your favorite meme right now, Kyle?
I'm looking.
Oh,
I like this really fat cat. It's a painting of a very fat cat sitting next to a banana. It's making a weird face.
wait, what the fuck memes are made out of that?
Just random memes. I don't know.
That's the fucking funniest.
It's
picture,
an
though.
Instagram meme, to be fair.
It's
but
just a fucking fat cat with a banana. We definitely gonna put that up on the screen, on the editing, so y'all can see that fat cat and the banana. If
You
haven't
should
already.
set up visuals like for all the podcasts and stuff. Like if you
We-
have conversations like that.
Yeah, we changed the picture last episode. You had Nick's spit bag up there for.
Well,
You put it up for like the rest of the whole show.
I did. Because I was lazy. I could do it like for every image that we reference.
Yeah.
but I just don't.
I think it's hilarious when people have it like that and they just have it like popping up right as they're talking about it, and they can, without saying anything, just with popping images up on the screen in like a certain pattern, just like a certain way they pop up and disappear, like you can get laughs out of that. It's crazy. It's like I've discovered this as a crazy way of comedy. Like people make laughs out of just editing techniques. Like not even saying a word, just editing techniques. Like the way words pop up across screens, like as narrating. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I've seen like YouTube videos and stuff.
Like if somebody's talking all crazy, going nuts in the video, and the caption or the subtitles is like in a certain fashion, it's like poppy and in a certain fashion, it'll
So,
make
like-
you laugh more. Like it'll look funnier.
So like GIF memes.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what GIF memes are.
Yeah. I think that's
They're
really
funnier
interesting.
when they have like stupid text, like a person will be like going by and the words will be on the person. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those are.
I think that's really interesting that people can use something like that as comedy. Not even saying anything, not telling a joke or saying anything.
Yeah, people are fucking weird.
good old people. You know how we are.
Just more weird shit about
But like,
humans.
okay, so every human is made the same, pretty much. Like, so we're all made out of the same shit, and our brains are all like, it's like, oh, that one mega fucking tiny little atom of a neuron in your brain is like shifted a different way, so you're fucked up.
Yeah,
Literally.
It's like,
Totally
okay, what
different
the fuck?
thought process for the rest of your life.
But that's what's constantly happening to everybody.
Yeah, because of all the dumb shit we do and fucking all that shit. It's like, yes.
You could just hit your head a weird way. You could fall down the stairs any time of the day, any fucking day of the week. You can fall down the stairs and land on your head a weird way, and the rest of your life will be different.
Yep, you'll be a completely different person.
And you never know it. You
And
could walk outside.
And you wouldn't even realize it either.
You could walk outside and some asshole that just feels like killing somebody could just be driving by with a gun shooting at whoever
Yeah.
they saw.
Yeah.
You never know it. It's happened before.
Mhm.
Who's to fucking say that it's not going to happen on your porch when you walk
It
outside?
could happen right now.
Yeah, it could happen right now.
Literally.
A bullet could come through the window and get you. But
Never know.
you never know.
No.
It's the craziest thing.
Time itself is just fucking weird.
A nuke could drop on some country right now.
Yeah, literally.
We don't know. Somebody could be turning the key and opening a fucking briefcase and pushing a button to drop a nuke on some country somewhere, and we wouldn't know it until the news just started flashing everywhere. Nuke dropped on, like, everybody'd be freaking out. But we wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
And there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands and millions of experiences going on right now. Crazy experiences that we could never imagine. We could never fathom. They're going on right now.
We don't know what the fuck.
Billions.
There could be a
Billions
person.
and billions
there could
of
be a-
them.
There could be a person like 600 yards that way that's doing something completely fucking randomly different than us, and we don't fucking know what the fuck everybody's doing.
There could be somebody in a 5-mile radius that's fucking chopping somebody up in their basement. We wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know.
Probably.
We wouldn't know for a while.
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this 9th random person just went missing. Like, what the fuck? Okay. And then they're like 5-10 years down the road, like, oh, it was some guy.
And we wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. I think time is the craziest thing. Like, what the fuck is time, and why does it work, and how does it work, and why can I be having a super fast day? Really fast. Like, I look at the clock and it's 1 o'clock, and I look at the clock again and it's 7:30 already.
Yeah.
But another person in the same room could be like, oh my god, this day has been going on for so fucking long.
It's all relative.
It's all just fucking crazy.
It's all up to your brain.
What the fuck?
It's just crazy. Like, holy shit, it's already 1:30, and they're like,
time flies when you're having
oh my god,
fun.
it's only 1:30. Fuck, Jesus, I feel like I've been sitting here for fucking 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy how it can work.
That whole phrase, time flies when you're having fun, just like how time works different, like all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just, and then the fact that it's not even actually a real thing. It's just based off of the
we
cosmos.
created it off of how shit works.
Yeah, literally.
How shit moves around.
Like, oh look, there's
And it
that
took a
yellow
long
ball
time.
thing again. It's 1:30.
It took so long for us to tell time, and then to figure it out the right way. Like, we didn't have an actual clock. I forget the name of the clock that we decided to go with, but there was like a bunch before it, and it kept getting updated. And then, like, if you look in a certain year, I can't remember the exact year, but there's a certain year, I believe it's in like the 1600s, where there's just 10 days missing from the calendar because they made a new calendar, and it changed everything. So they had to like take a chunk out because they had to like update it somehow. So there's literally 10 days missing from history. There's not 10 days. And I'm pretty sure it's in the 1600s. I might be wrong about that. But
So, whoever was alive,
they were working on a new calendar. And for whatever reason, they figured out that, oh shit, if we start with this new calendar, this isn't going to work, so we're going to start on this day. And then they just cut 10 days out of the calendar. So it's like, for example, I don't know, this isn't the actual date, but it would be like January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 11th, 12th. Like, just cut a chunk of the fucking time out.
Sick.
so those people's lives was reset 6 days before.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have made any difference.
It wouldn't have made any fucking difference. No fucking difference made to their life, except for now the calendar is very slightly... Now, that was like to fix something with leap days. Leap days would have been crazy if there was like some crazy law that leap days would have taken.
A leap day, it's just like, oh, there's an extra day. But that easily could have been...
There was something super fucked up. They were like, oh, if we keep going with this calendar every 100 years or every 200 years, we're going to have to take a year out of the calendar or something like that. So they're like, fuck, we're going to have to remake the calendar. So that's what they did.
They're like, all right, every 4 years, one random day.
Yeah, we're just going to fuck a day.
It's so crazy. It's like, here's an extra slot of time.
Well, it's because the way the Earth... Literally every year, the Earth goes around the sun, and it's like a quarter of a day off. And it does that 4 times. So that's why they have to do it, because it just creates an extra day. Because the Earth is spinning a certain way.
How smart those motherfuckers were?
Yeah.
They're so crazy.
And then to think that there was Mayan calendars.
Those motherfuckers.
The Mayan calendars, like when they were just like living out in the middle of fucking nowhere, sacrificing people on top of a pyramid. And they knew what the fuck was going on.
They knew what
like
day
they
it
knew
was.
all
They're
that
like, oh
shit.
shit, last Thursday.
Not even to mention the Egyptians.
That's crazy. Just crazy to even think about. Like, it's just we created it because, oh look, there's that yellow ball.
Literally.
This is the day now. Every time that yellow ball starts showing up, that means it's a new day.
Because
like, oh fuck.
Literally our week, just Monday, Tuesday, it's just named after some Roman like shit. And one day most people decided that they liked that day, I guess. They liked it that way.
They're like, cool.
And most of the Earth just
like,
kind
hey,
of
what's
picked that.
today? Could you imagine the first week? Like,
well,
guess
in
what
English
day it
anyway.
is,
As
dude?
far as English is concerned, I don't know about other languages, but they're just like, yes, Monday, Tuesday, that's good.
We like that. That's cool, yeah.
And then the same thing with the months. Julius Caesar was just like, fuck you, I want my own month. And just created another month.
But it still works.
But it still works. They just had to change the lengths of the days of this.
It's so crazy. It's just insane. Absolutely ridiculous. Just, oh boy. Big yellow ball went by. It's really dark. It's night. So that means when that ball comes up, it's a new day. And that's the 3rd of May.
Mm-hmm.
The Egyptians thought that some god brought the sun across the sky in the day in a canoe, and then returned later with the moon. And people think that they built 3 pyramids that have 40-ton stones in them, and millions of those 40-ton stones that were dug in a quarry 500 miles away, and they just carried them shits there and built that. People think that the same people built that shit. Like, it's ridiculous. Anybody that thinks that the pyramids were built just by the Egyptians and they had no help. I'm not saying aliens built that shit, but I mean, I'm not taking that out of the realm of possibilities, but anybody who thinks only the Egyptians built the pyramids, honestly, that's a crazy fucking idea.
Because it's just such an insane thing. Like, how could... Like, what... We don't do that kind of shit nowadays. I mean, I guess our versions of
we
the
couldn't.
pyramids
It would take us
like
thousands it would take us thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years to do that shit. It would literally take us like 25,000 years or something to do that shit with our technology today. And we would be advancing during all that. And you're telling me they did that by sliding the stones on wet sand and they used copper tools? You can't... In the time that they were built, they estimate that you couldn't fit a sheet of paper in between any of the stones.
Yeah.
And they were so perfectly cut, you couldn't fit a sheet of paper between them.
Somebody went back in time with them. And they were like, here, we've already cut the slabs for you, just assemble them together into a pyramid. It's like...
Want to do something funny for the future?
That's like, okay, like when someone in society finally figures out how to time travel back in time, and is like, this is how you build the pyramids. That's how everything ends. It just stops and resets.
Yeah, the aliens are like, they figured it all out during a simulation.
Oh my god!
And they're like, fuck, they figured it out.
And they just restart it all.
Boop. Darkness.
Oh my
Nothing
god!
ever
What
again.
if that's what deja vu is?
Oh my god! What if that's what deja vu is? It's just resetting. This is like the second try. It's like, that happened in one of the first tries too. It got reset. This shit already got reset.
Nah, that's so fucking... Like, okay.
Deja vu is a crazy thing. We were talking about it before the podcast started.
It's just... The things that I have read up and saw like YouTube videos about is like... It has to do with your brain.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like you thought that you saw that thing before, and it's like shit like that. But it's just so fucking weird when it happens. It's just so fucking weird.
But it's all ran by cells.
Yeah.
That are like doing something. I don't know what
billions of neurons in your brain firing. Just like making everything...
Those little cells created those things.
Making my mouth move to
and
create
it just runs
language.
by itself. It just decided it wanted to work that way.
It's like, yeah, oh cool, we get to be a human. And other ones are the exact same thing. Oh cool, I get to be a wood. It's just...
I know, like, what are the chances that you are a human born into this? Like,
atoms are literally just like the ones and zeros.
Literally, everything runs on ones and zeros. They're literally just like little shits rotating around each other. Fucking tiny little, I don't even know, the size of an atom. It's just little like neurons and shit. It's just like, what the fuck?
What the fuck, dude? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world we live in.
I would say so.
It doesn't get talked about enough either. Nobody fucking talks about it.
Nobody has time to think about that shit anymore.
I think about it every day.
Well,
I feel like I've had conversations with almost every single one of my friends about this, like relatively regularly, and I feel like nobody outside of my circle like wants to have this conversation.
It's just, it doesn't... it just seems like nobody else cares. It seems like they don't even give any kind of knowledge to the fact that they're just fucking shit.
Some
just
people
some shit that exists.
They have the horse blinders on, and they're just like running through life, and they think they know what they want to do, and they're like dead set on it, and they just look at social media like everybody else, and they
they just don't pay any attention to the fact that they're just a fucking unfathomably whatever the fuck word amount of fucking atoms that just. Ooh.
They just do something. They vibrate.
They just exist. They just are there. And
everybody goes through school and they learn that shit, but I feel like nobody like grabs them and shakes them and is like, think about it. Like, think about this shit. Like, really think about this shit. Like, put hours of thought into the universe and us being this tiny, 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 little tiny speck, and there just being hundreds of billions of shit that you're never going to be able to get to. It's all just out there. You're never going to get to it. And you could look up and see that shit anytime you want. People just don't. They're just driving around. How many people are out there right now and they could look up and see infinity? Just absolute infinity. We have no fucking idea what we're actually looking at, but people could look at it anytime and they just don't. They're just driving. How many people out there are just driving around or staring at their phones and they could just be looking up? That's fucking insane. And people go and they stare at the Grand Canyon and shit, and they fucking go and look at big buildings, and then there's just infinity, hundreds of billions of miles of stars across the Milky Way, and they just don't even look at it. It's just not even a thing to think about and look at. And when they do look at it, they don't process it. They're like, oh, there's stars. Those are just like suns out there.
So beautiful.
Suns out there a couple thousand miles away.
How far is the sun? Like 32 miles or some shit.
32 miles away.
Damn, that sun 32 miles away. Damn, that's far as fuck.
How big is the sun now? He's got football field.
Yes, damn, you can fit like 30 of them bitches up there. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Yep.
One person who I think thinks like this a lot, not like that, but doesn't think about this shit the same way I do, is like my sister. And people like her. She's how you would say basic as fuck. And she just doesn't think the same way as people who have like the thoughts that we're talking about. And she doesn't think about space in the same way. She listens to one genre of music. She doesn't like have deep conversations ever. Like the only thing she cares about is like what's going on with her and her friends, and like what she's gonna do tonight, what she's wearing, how she looks, how tan her skin is, all that dumb shit that is just like a distraction. People don't want to like connect with themselves. They just want to run through this life and not put any thought into what's actually going on. They're just like, that's fucking cute, I'm gonna wear that. I don't fucking know.
It's just strange. There's so many different kinds of people too.
I know.
Like there's like that, and then there's like a different variation of that, and a different variation of that.
And then there's like a 70-year-old trucker that hasn't seen anybody in like 5 years except for the people that he drops his shit off to, and does his truck routes, and he's just driving around in a truck. One side of his face is fucking melting off because the sun's been beating on it for months.
Yeah, it's like...
And it's just all the different existences out there. And then there's a billionaire driving around in a Ferrari right now with a supermodel in the passenger seat.
And none of it.
And then there's us sitting here right now.
Yeah.
And then there's a 6-year-old in Taiwan sitting there somewhere.
Yeah.
Eating food, sitting there doing whatever the fuck they do.
It's just crazy. It's insane.
And then multiply that by billions and billions. All those experiences going on right now. And right now, and right now. And all the people dying and being born right now. Yeah. All the death happening right now, and right now. And right now. Like,
constantly.
Since I've been talking, 100 people died. Probably. Like, since this podcast started, probably 1,000 people have died, and probably 2,000 people have been born. I'd imagine.
It's probably higher than that.
No, it's probably way higher than that.
It's probably like way fucking higher than that.
Around, I'm not saying like in the whole world. That was a horrible estimation for like the whole world, but
yeah,
just
like
a number. That was just a random number. Obviously, it's more than that. I'm
Lots of
curious
people.
of it now.
a fuck ton of people.
I'm curious.
Born and dead.
And there's like parts of it we would never fucking even see.
Every time I snap my fingers,
Yeah.
there's probably just someone popping out.
How many people do you think have been born and died since this podcast started?
A fucking a fucking assload.
A fucking.
Like millions.
Yeah, millions.
Millions every second. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Maybe I'm fucking completely retarded, but I don't know.
I don't have my phone. There's a there's a life and death clock that you can look at. You can actually look at the U.S. national debt clock too, which is pretty interesting. You just see the number like just going
We
up
watched it in
hundreds of
school a few
thousands of
times.
dollars.
We saw it in school a few times.
It's just going up like $1 million at a time. Just like, you just can't even see the number changing because it's just like going up as fast as you can even process. Million there, million, just adding up.
Crazy.
Whoa, what the hell? For every 1,000 people in the world, what the fuck? For every 1,000 people in the world, an average 7.7848 people will die each year, and 19.349 will be born. That's a ratio of about 2.5 births for every death. These these figures are from 2014, but
So it's higher.
they're both at similar rates. So the ratio hasn't changed much in 10 years.
Oh.
It doesn't say anything about every second. But for every 1,000 people,
You should.
7.748 people. I can't.
You should look up like live U.S. or live world population. World population clock or something like that. It'll probably show you the estimated number. And that's not even, like, they don't even know. Like, there's people out there that don't even exist to us. They don't have social security cards. They don't fucking exist. Maybe they were kidnapped when they were a baby and fucking grew up in some
So it
crazy
is?
situation.
Actually, not. Yeah, what the fuck?
People that fake their own deaths that are just out there.
Births today, 376,923, counting. Deaths today, 158,154 and counting.
So it probably is a couple thousand.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot. That's fucking crazy.
I probably wasn't
That's
that
even
far
worse
off.
than like a lot of people dying and being born every fucking. Then we would fucking so that wouldn't work. That's crazy though. Double the people are being born than are
Yeah,
dying.
would you say 2.5 for every
one?
every one?
That's crazy.
So for every 1,000 people that are dying,
It says
2,500 people are being born.
births this year is 25 million, and deaths this year is 10 million.
That's crazy. 10 million deaths this year.
Population growth is 14,544,000.
If you looked at like the deaths this year of like 1945, like the last year of World War II, imagine what the number would be.
That'd be horrifying.
Oh my
That'd
God.
be horrifyingly bad.
I think somewhere around like 70 million people died in World War II. If you take everything into account. 72 million. Some shit like that. I might be
70
wrong.
to 85 million people.
In World War II?
Yeah. Which is about 3% of the 1940 population.
So I wasn't too far off.
3% of the entire population was just killed in that war.
And a third of Europe was killed in the Black Plague. Imagine those days. There's bodies littering the streets.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Or Genghis Khan, when he was on his reign, he literally changed. I read this really interesting article about how when Genghis Khan was on his reign and killed all those fucking people and just was burning villages and fucking raping and pillaging and shit, he literally changed the carbon dioxide index on the planet because of how many lives he took. There's a certain percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and he reduced that percentage by like 1%.
That's crazy.
Or some insane shit. I think it was like a fraction of a percent. But even to change it like 1,000, like a millionth of one, like even just to change it that much, it would be insane. You'd have to kill so many fucking people. And he killed like hundreds of millions of people, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was hundreds of millions. I think it was like around 100 million. And it changed how much carbon dioxide in the air.
Can't even think
like, to even put that in perspective.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
All those villages full of people. And then to think how much more overpopulated the world would be if that didn't happen, and if the Holocaust didn't happen, and if the Black Plague didn't happen, and if all that shit didn't happen. How many more people there would be?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exciting stuff.
Well, that brings up a whole nother topic then, because like people believe that crazy, insane shit like that happens to control the population.
Yeah.
Like that population it's it just that crazy shit happens.
Or does shit just
every 50 years or something they say. I don't know what it is.
Something will happen to...
Yeah, something will happen and the population of the humanity will go down.
They're like, oh shit, it's getting to be too much again, we better take a chunk down.
Well, I feel like it just happens. Like, it's just... It's
like
weird.
Nobody controls it, just happens.
It's just weird.
It just happens, yeah, literally.
It just happens to be in some weird pattern, like when there's a fuck ton of people.
There's a point. Basically, every species kills itself at a certain point, and you just wait for it to happen. Basically,
yeah, it's just insane, ridiculous.
It's like something horrible happens to a species, or like something horrible happens to an entire society, and then we like rebuild from that, and we start working our way up. And we get better and better, and then all of a sudden we kind of like start forgetting about that crazy thing that happened, and then shit kind of starts to get a little bit more fucked up, and it kind of goes down a road again, and then something else fucking insane happens, and millions of people die, and then we're like, oh my god, like the world takes a whole different turn, and we rebuild, and we're starting on rebuilding again, and then it's just another cycle.
Yeah,
it's like a parabola, we go up and down. That seems like how it works.
Basically. Usually they, I've just completely lost my train of thought.
Sorry if I interrupted.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to put it together, words wise.
You know how you feel.
So, someone else could talk. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Like, okay, usually every society or any animal species just runs out of its food source or runs out of its own resources and dies. Unless they're like humans and they like nuke themselves to death or some weird shit. I don't know.
That's what it seems like, because it seems like humans are going to strive forever because of how the world works now. I mean, there's parts
literally
of the world
every
that's not
time
like
it's just
that,
because resources.
but
just
humans as a being won't stop existing. It seems like that, but something crazy could happen, and something like might just make it to where, oh shit, food can't grow anymore anywhere. And we're like, oh well, there we go.
I mean, really, if you think about it, all it takes is for one person to lose his mind. And the leader of any country, some leader could make the decision to nuke a country, and that country would retaliate.
And then every other country would join one country's side, and it would just be the end of existence.
Yeah, it would just nukes would be sent all over. All the allies would just team up and be like, "All right, we're all gonna die." At least
end Earth.
Everybody would just yeet so hard they'd be like, "All right." I would yeet fucking hard anyway. They're like, "Yeah, there's nukes going off right now." I'd be like, "Oh shit, time to party."
And we would definitely get fucked up because one would definitely hit New York City, so we would be fucked. One would probably hit Buffalo. Oh god. It's a crazy thing to think about too, because it's like it's happened before.
Toronto would probably get hit.
Yeah, Toronto.
If someone really wanted to just make some shit happen, But they would, they'd probably go to New York City or something. Well, just
It's insane. to
Any
think
big
about.
populated area would be sought after first.
be like, yeetin'.
Somewhere around 200,000 people were killed when the nukes were dropped in Japan.
Or like L.A.
Yeah. One decision. One person can make that decision for all that to happen right now. Think about having that power at your fingertips and
Yeah.
just knowing that.
Let's do it.
I saw a really interesting video about this briefcase that the president carries around. I guess a lot of other country leaders carries it around, and it just looks like this big black briefcase, and it's got antennas sticking out of it and shit. And that's because if shit goes down and they have to make that decision, then that's literally the command post for making the decision to drop nukes. And they carry it everywhere. Every picture you see with the president, it's in the background. Like ever since the Cold War, every picture you see with the president, that like in the right context, if there's like a secret agent in the background carrying that shit, like you see it everywhere. And that's literally what that is. You open it up and you turn a key and press a button and it drops nukes. And they carry it everywhere. It's got a computer in it and it's got like logbooks, like instructions on shit. It's wild. Should put a picture of that shit up too.
Yeah, we probably
A
can.
nuclear football, I believe, as they're called.
Yeah, the football.
What is it?
It's literally called the football.
The football.
That's what the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put a picture up for that.
And the president has a card on him that has a series of numbers, like this super long code that you have to put in just to access it. And only the president has the card on him. And that card's like been lost and shit. Like presidents have lost it. I forget it. They call it a certain thing too. You don't happen to know the name of that, do you?
So we kind of ended there on a dark note.
A little bit.
But, yeah, so we're probably going to end it here. This has been, what was it, the 4th episode now?
Yes.
The 4th episode of Lamentable Podcast with our very thoughtful guest Vincent here.
Thanks for having me.
Who had kept the conversation going really well. It was fucking lit.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, we'll catch y'all on the flip side.